Will Ripple giving more evidence turn the case in their favor? Will the case settle in mid-May? Will major banks partnering up with the Ripple network skyrocket XRP? Stay tuned till the end of the video to find out. Welcome back XRP Army. Let's grow the XRP Lab community by pressing the like button and subscribing to this channel to stay updated at all times. So, Ripple has given 4 more reasons to get the Security and Exchange Commission internal documents. Before we get into how XRP bullish run is going to start, let's have a quick recap of how the Security and Exchange Commission is almost comically failing to follow the correct protocol. So, a dagger was thrown at the financial startup, Ripple on December 22, 2020. The Securities and Exchange Commission filed a complaint against Ripple Labs and 2 of its top executives. The regulatory agency said the defendants traded $1.3 billion in cryptocurrencies as security but did not initially register them. The Security and Exchange Commission characterizes XRP as a security because it was used to fund a platform that allows money transactions for merchants. Ripple Labs and the executives involved profited from the deal as well. So, the Security and Exchange Commission argued that it should have been registered with them, along with the disclosure of specific financial facts for public consumption. Well, they said the measures are intended to combat fraud and safeguard investors' interests, which is far from the truth as we know. Instead of complying with the requests, Ripple chose to fight the Security and Exchange Commission in court. According to Ripple, the lawsuit was slanted against cryptos and an attack against Ripple. Now, Ripple lawyers reminded the court that the Security and Exchange Commission internal records are equally significant to the Howey analysis, scienter, and fair notice, as well as an impartial examination of defendants' comprehension in considering the aiding and abetting accusation. This was Ripple's answer to the Security and Exchange Commission argument that a previous order by Judge Torres rendered the Hinman 2018 speech and accompanying notes, as well as the Estabrook notes, irrelevant to the XRP action. However, Judge Torres dismissed their move to dismiss the lawsuit against them, making the protected data irrelevant and unfindable, according to the Security and Exchange Commission. Ripple argued that the court order did not invalidate the Hinman speech communications or the court decision that those materials were not privileged. And the same should be true for the Estabrook notes. And the Hinman speech communications, according to Ripple, are immediately related to the fair notice argument, which Judge Torres explicitly permitted to continue over the Security and Exchange Commission petition to strike. Contrary to the Security and Exchange Commission suggestion, defendants have never suggested that communications related to the Hinman speech were only relevant to the recklessness standard, the Ripple counsel said, adding that the Security and Exchange Commission internal documents are relevant to the Howey analysis, scienter and fair notice, as well as an objective review of defendants' understanding when considering the aiding and abetting charge. Well, Ripple is giving more and more evidence, and the Security and Exchange Commission is just delaying the case. What do you think? Is there any that it would end in May? Also, despite the upcoming discovery-related motions, Chris Larsen and Brad Garlinghouse want to continue with the briefing. The regulators, on the other hand, are of the opinion that this is not the case given that the individual defendants have yet to answer the complaint and plead affirmative defenses. The Security and Exchange Commission believes that such a briefing schedule is premature and respectfully requests that the court direct the parties to meet and confer regarding a summary judgment schedule once the Security and Exchange Commission has advised the court of its position on the need for additional discovery. The Security and Exchange Commission position, that a summary judgment date in mid-May is premature, is unsurprising. Given that, the Commission has methodically delayed the action, ostensibly to thwart Ripple's desire to put the case behind them. Delay tactics are perhaps the Security and Exchange Commission's most powerful weapon against Ripple in the lawsuit. Ripple, on the other hand, has effectively stated their argument in a manner that demonstrates an effort to follow the rules. The Security and Exchange Commission, on the other hand, has been beset by infighting and humiliation as a result of the many contradictions and inconsistencies throughout the lawsuit, with Hinman personal beliefs versus public recommendations being a highlight. The most recent dispute stems from the Security and Exchange Commission's newest filing, in which it attempted to incorporate a second expert report, despite the fact that doing so is against the rules. Also, Finance Feeds talked with Natalia Zaharova, head of business development at FX Open, on the XRP lawsuit and the prospect for an upside from a settlement. Whilst it is not yet conclusive, there is definitely a sway of opinion toward the litigation against Ripple being settled in its favor, and many leading academics from major universities have already publicly stated opinions that the lawsuit is baseless and that Ripple will either win, or it will be settled in Ripple favor outside of the courtroom, she said in the interview. Concerning the price of XRP, Ms. Zaharova said that there is most certainly a chance of its value rising substantially, as Ripple continued to expand its breadth and network throughout the world, putting XRP at the core of a broader economy. The digital asset not only lowers transaction costs but it is also designated as the default digital settlement currency, serving as a middleman between all other digital transactions. The FX Open executive concluded that, in addition to Ripple's successful court case and the increasing network for XRP, current events might also favorably influence the price of XRP, as inflation, stagnation, and economic conflict may cause a rise in demand for crypto, with XRP as a natural choice. And, settlement in the Security and Exchange Commission versus Ripple case is seen to be a possible primary trigger for the upcoming price swings in the XRP market. Many people are upset with the digital asset market performance, believing that the court case has generated hesitation in XRP acceptance across the sector. Cryptocurrency holders and investors may have also abstained from purchasing or increasing their holdings of XRP. And the removal of XRP from Coinbase and many other US exchanges also had an impact. Furthermore, top banks are collaborating to use the Ripple network for faster and cheaper cross-border transactions. So, do you believe it will help XRP reach $589? Currently, the Ripple payment network collaborates with global financial institutions from more than 55 countries. Their on-demand liquidity service makes use of the digital asset XRP to source liquidity during cross-border transactions as an alternative to traditional systems. Now, because of their alliance with the National Australia Bank, the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, and Israel Bank Leumi, they are now using the Ripple payment network for cross-border transactions. The collaboration is intended to improve customer experiences by lowering costs, speeding up payment processing, and improving security. Transactions that could have taken up to 2 days to become effective are now said to be completed in minutes. The alliance of financial institutions is also expected to open new doors for each to access world-class international innovation initiatives and insights. This is an opportunity for institutions to collaborate on solutions to common issues, as well as combine and leverage global knowledge and insights to find ways to stay ahead in the competitive and rapidly changing world of fintech. And despite the Security and Exchange Commission versus Ripple Labs lawsuit, the company has been expanding its reputation and international partnerships. The Ripple network is gaining traction in Australia. It is recognized by financial institutions, and the company members collaborate with the country authorities to develop a crypto regulatory framework. Last year, Ripple proposed 3 principles for an Australian regulatory framework for digital assets. This was included and credited in the final report of the Australian Senate Select Committee on Australia as a technology and financial centre. Also, RippleNet General Manager Ashish Birla says that the company ended 2021 with a payment volume run rate of more than $10 billion and expanded its on-demand liquidity product to 22 destination markets. He said that the on-demand liquidity product is on the verge of attaining worldwide exposure. In comparison to the old banking system, Birla thinks on-demand liquidity quick development is due to its greater transaction speed and more efficient use of money. So, do you believe Ripple will be able to provide worldwide financial coverage? Make sure to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Kindly note that the prices of cryptocurrencies frequently change, so by the time you watch this video, it might have changed to a whole new value. The information provided in this video does not constitute investment advice, financial advice, trading advice, or any other sort of advice, and you should not treat any of the content as such. The content in this video is for educational purposes only and hence should not be considered financial advice. Do conduct your due diligence and consult your financial advisor before making any investment decisions.